Geekdom, this is Chipmunk doing another reaction. Today we're going to be reacting to a video from Man's channel. Before I start talking about it though, I like to say thank y'all for those who've been coming to my channel, checking out my channel and everything. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, it's it's been a journey. This helps me as far as just my mental and stuff goes, because just like everyone else out in the world, it's been a struggle, and it's been a struggle like everywhere. There's a lot going on nowadays in the world, and yes, this is an outlet for me, and hopefully I'll be an outlet for y'all, because it's you know, the world is rough. The world is rough right now, and it's a lot of stuff, so much tragedy, so much going on, so much bull crap, and yeah. So yeah, I do appreciate y'all for coming on and checking out my stuff, checking out the videos, checking out my reactions. I am working on an AMV. Apologize. I am working on the AMV. So as far as my creative side, that's what I'm working on right now. It's Toradora AMV. So do look out for that. I was supposed to have it out this month, but I probably won't drop it until September. And then after September, I'll be working on another, hopefully it'll be a quicker AMV for Halloween. So yeah. But right now I'm working on a Toradora AMV. So please do come back, check that out if you like. But yeah. But this is, as far as the video for Man's channel, this is top 10 forgotten anime to watch. Best underrated anime. Yeah, there's a lot of, to me, a lot of underrated animes, and there's a lot of animes that I think that wasn't put as far as like their best foot forward, as far as say for studios. But yeah, the probably is just like the marketing or the love and stuff is just, as far as just some of these animes, probably is just what happened. They weren't getting a lot of looks and stuff when it comes to the audiences, so we probably didn't have a lot of chance to watch them. But yeah. So this is 10 forgotten animes. Hopefully I'll remember some of these. Hopefully. Some I'm not gonna know at all, most likely. But let's go ahead and check this out.
Have you guys ever come across an anime which you have never heard of? And when you do a little bit of research, you find out that it used to be a real gem of its time, but now no one seems to remember it at all. It's almost like everyone threw it in a well and just completely forgot to bring it up or something. Well, if all of this crap sounds familiar to you, or maybe even a tiny bit interesting to you, today's ride is one that will definitely amuse you, or at the very least surprise you. Because today I'm going to tell you about the top 10 anime that fans have literally forgotten about. So strap in and clench your cheeks, Billy! We're going for a ride! So, on the Kickstarter list, we got Gravitation at number 10. The story of a young singer who is totally burnt out and can't think of a single goddamn word to write as a lyric for his new songs. The deadlines are approaching, none of the songs are finished, and among all these problems, our MC decides to develop a crush on a girl. And if that wasn't enough, the girl is at a complete level of her own. She completely crushes the young singer by telling him he has zero talents. I mean, damn. Don't you think you're being a little too harsh on him? I mean, being insulted like that, our main character is so annoyed that he's managed to finish his song just so he can find and confront Yuki once again.
Inspiration.
But are his actions really motivated by anger, or is it, you know, a little something else?
No.
And fun fact, for those who haven't seen this show, this synopsis might be a little misleading. Now, looking back to the time when I first watched the show, I can still see why I loved it so much. But I feel like I could evaluate it as a proper critic now. And the title of a so-called critic on my head, I would say that Gravitation was probably one of the first of its kind. Certainly, this was the title that opened the floodgates for hundreds of other shonen ai titles just at the turn of the century. Sure, if you pick through the music and some other aspects, you leave yourself with a simple, old-fashioned love story. But the truth of the matter is that most shonen ai anime, they just aren't good. Be it because of the crappy story, obvious fan service, or a bad direction. However, Gravitation doesn't just pull it off as a shonen ai, but as an anime in general. So, if you haven't seen it, you might want to go take a peek. Coming next at number 9, we have
seems like it'd be something
Eden
I
of
like.
the East.
You know,
The
the
story
East.
revolves around a false
I have the
terrorist
movie
attack that
and
happened in
the
Japan,
series.
known as Careless Monday.
It is a
Well,
really good
that's a way to
anime.
name a
Like,
terrorist attack.
I really loved it.
Quickly forgotten, society goes on about their lives as normal, but that wasn't the end of it. How these false attacks changed the life of a college
If you haven't
student's
seen
life
it, check it out.
forever
It's
is
a really
what the
good
show
anime.
is about. Eden of the East is a new anime and was one of the most anticipated series of the spring 2009 season. After quite an impressive trailer before the anime aired, it had quite the hype going around. With a very interesting plot tapping into the hot topics of terrorism, weapons of mass destruction, information technology, marginalized geek subculture, and subversive conspiracy theories, it accomplishes an astronomical level of relevancy to its early 21st century audience that's both rare and difficult to pull off. It was definitely one of the most refreshing stories in recent seasons.
Out in front of the White
Not to
House
mention
and
the
stuff,
ending
butt
leaves you with a
naked.
cliffhanger that the movies are
Bucket
expected to
naked.
resolve. But that's what probably killed the popularity of the show. The show itself does not provide any closure to its story and character. But even with that said, this show is one that most of mystery fans will definitely enjoy. So if you are one, be sure to give it a try. Up next at number 8,
It's really
we have
good.
Tokyo
Give it a
Magnitude
try.
8.0.
Another
The
good
story
one.
revolves around a middle
I
school
love this
girl,
anime
a
as
little
well. It's
brother,
one of my
and a
top 10
motorcycling
favorites.
delivery woman. The story is based
It is
on the
definitely one of my
experience
top 10
these
favorites.
characters as the world around them is shattered into pieces due to an earthquake of 8.0 magnitude.
I was like, I enjoyed
Tokyo
this more than I
Magnitude
did the
8.0
one.
is something special. A human story
like
told through naked eyes.
Japan Sinks,
This
I
show
wanna
did
say it
something
was
that a
called.
bunch of anime hasn't been able to do for
I
the
enjoyed
audience,
this more.
which is to spark an emotional connection. It gently stole my attention through the tale of a young girl whose devastating experience of seeing her city brought her to its knees. Tokyo Magnitude 8.0 is a breath of fresh air among all the crazy, ridiculous shows filled with giant mecha, deadly monsters, hot chicks with big badonkadonks, and more guitar-plucking girls. It takes a seemingly normal life of a bratty teenage
big
girl
badonkadonks.
and literally shakes up her world as she confronts the very face of humanity. This show created a lot of hype when it first aired, but slowly got drifted apart from the fans as time
I don't know
passed.
why. I
But
love
if
this
you
so
commit
much.
to seeing this show through, I can bet $1,000 that you won't be disappointed. Coming
I
in
have
at number
this
7,
movie as
we
well.
have The 12 Kingdoms.
The
The story
something-
starts off innocently with a redhead who is literally the role model of students. But due to her obedient nature, she's often taken advantage of by her not-so-friendly friends.
Haven't heard of
In other
this
words,
one.
she has no friends. That is until a guy who is isekai from another world shows up. He calls his master and the ruler of his realm. He takes her to his world with 2 other students, and
shit.
thus begins our journey into the magical land of the 12 Kingdoms.
They've been doing
happens
this for so
next?
dang long.
Well, go and find out. This series is so good that when it ends at episode 45, you'll find yourself wishing for more. And I decided to start watching this show out of genuine curiosity based on the name. But the show quickly hooked me up with a beginning that may not have promised a decent story, but at which it was loaded with hooks to capture its audience. The reason people started to avoid this anime is still a mystery to me. But the immediate sense of urgency and bewildered excitement and some original fantasy ideas and elements will definitely hook you up as well for sure.
I'll check
And
it
at
out.
number 6, we have Denno Coil.
I haven't
In
heard
the
of
near
this one
future,
either.
where virtual reality has become a key part of daily life, a gentle middle school girl and her family.
Granted, like a
moves
lot
to
of these that
Daikoku
came out
City,
directly,
despite rumors of people
like
disappearing.
at like
There,
2000s
her grandmother
and
runs
stuff,
a shop
I haven't.
that specializes in illegal
I wasn't
tools which
into
interact with
anime
parts
that,
of the
as
virtual
far as
world.
just anime
Now,
that
that's
much.
what you call a badass
Like I was
life.
still looking at
What
like
will
card
happen to her and her
captures,
family? What problems and mysteries that
Pokemon,
they will face are what the show
Digimon,
revolves
stuff like
around.
that. But I didn't
Denno
view it
Coil
as
was
something
probably
different than
one
regular
of the best
cartoons.
shows I watched in a good long time. This show was in development for about 10 years, and with the incredible subtlety of this entire show, I can believe it. Every aspect of the technology, how the world works, and every tiny detail that one can think
I want to say
of,
the first
or this
anime I've ever
blends
checked out.
together
I want to say
make
when
the
I was
world
younger was
seem
Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon
incredibly
was the
believable.
first.
If not possible,
Then like
in just
Dragon
a
Ball
few
Z.
years. It's just futuristic enough to seem amazing, yet grounded enough in reality to seem
Or Dragon Ball,
incredibly
I should say.
possible. And I just wish that our world had all those technologies. This show is another one of those hidden gems that have been sidelined due to the course of time. So, if you want to see something truly amazing that was way ahead of its time, please give this show a try. Up next at number
I will.
5, we got Moribito, Guardian of the Spirit. The story starts in an empire on the brink of a catastrophic drought. And a storm
Another
enters
like
the empire must devise a plan to avoid
2007.
widespread famine. They come across an ancient myth that says
I was
the first
17
emperor,
during the
along
time. I'm
with
trying to
8
remember
warriors,
as
killed
much
a
anime
water
I was
demon
watching
to
because I was
avoid a
watching
great drought
some, but
and saved the empire. If a water demon was to appear once more,
it's a lot that
its
I
death
wasn't
could
coming
bring
across.
salvation. However, the water demon manifests itself within the body of the emperor's son. Having no other choice, the prince is to be sacrificed to save the empire. But will he really be sacrificed? Watch the show to get the answer. Moribito, Guardian of the Spirit, is not your normal anime. It begins its journey as a novel intended for children, but it gained many adult fans. In fact, the novels proved to be so popular that the first volume was adapted into a manga, an anime that was directed by the director of Ghost in the Shell, SAC, and Second Gig, and even a radio drama. Talk about having a fortune. So if you like this type of anime at all, you must watch this. Although if you're looking for tons of action, you will be disappointed because this has a story to tell, and it will tell it at its own pace. Designed to develop characters, and yet it still has some of the best action scenes I've ever seen in my life. And at number 4, we have Planetes. Growing up, I'm sure
That's another
many of
one I
us
haven't-
have stared into the night sky at one
Yes,
time or
before
another,
I really got
just
into
trying to
anime.
process the sprawled out abyss, bewildered by its seemingly endless stretches into darkness. Just the very thought of how all-encompassing it is can be equal parts awe-inspiring, yet also intimidating. As we try to find our place in it all, Planetes is another show based in a futuristic world where space travel is an everyday job for humans. People are living on the moon, and corporate offices are branched out to outer space. Our main character is just another worker whose dreams lie in the cosmos. Planetes starts off rather slow. In fact, the story doesn't even really pick up until about episode 10 or so. Before that, you're introduced to a character, personalities, dreams, motives, and blah, 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 blah. But this is absolutely necessary though, because without this strong intro, the latter part of the show wouldn't have had nearly the same effect it had. Sadly, a show of this level has been overlooked by a lot of people. Planetes has romance, and quite a bit of romance in fact. It's packed full of drama and action along with it too. So, drama, action, and romance. What more could you ask for? Yeah, girls, I know. Jeez. Up next at number 3, we have Beck. So about the story, it's about this middle school kid who finally connects with the world around him through music and what eventually becomes a band called Beck and blah, 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 blah. Now, what makes Beck different from the typical perky, funny, energetic sort of high school show is that it's more of a simple slice of life show without all the drama and with a band. So it is no surprise that Beck got overshadowed by a whole tsunami of high school and slice of life shows which came in the last 10 years or so. So this probably isn't what you're looking for if you want a sort of funny, lighthearted high school slice of life show. It's quieter than that. It is much better than expected. Even though it has a storyline so interesting and wonderfully executed, this anime won't be enjoyed by everyone, sadly. Not even every music fan. But if you're looking for a break from all the sugar, this is a really nice change of pace. And next, today's runner-up is Kids on the Slope.
I've
The
heard of
story
this.
introverted
I've never
classical
watched it.
pianist and the top student who arrives for his first day of high school. Having constantly moved from place to place since his childhood, he abandons all hope of fitting in, preparing himself for another lonely, meaningless year. That is, until he encounters the famous delinquent of the school. While mistakenly getting to a bad start, these two soon develop an unforgettable friendship based on respect, forgiveness, and of course, music.
Yep.
Now, before I tell you more about the show, let me ask you a couple of questions. Are you someone who wants to know what it was like back in the 1960s? Ever wanted to escape from the harsh reality of today's world? Want to just sit back and enjoy some old school music after a stressful day? Well, perhaps you found a series worthy to invest your time into because Kids on the Slope is there, and sure to give you something to think about. The story itself has an amazing pace, and in my opinion, has the perfect combination of romance, drama, and music. The developments feel very natural and there are no freaking fillers. So, if you like this type of anime, you don't want to miss it.
Okay.
And now at number 1 on our today's list of the most forgotten anime is Nana. And rather than how many people have watched this, I would like to ask how many people who have already watched it remember it.
I remember it.
Congrats!
And
you are
I was like,
in
I don't think
long
it's the
line of
most
odds.
forgotten because I still
Now,
see
all
it
that
in
aside,
different
the story is
places.
about
But
2 young women with identical
I don't
names
know.
who are brought together in their pursuit of new beginnings. With
So I was
their
like, I
hearts
remember
set
seeing
on
like the
going to
manga
Tokyo.
everywhere. I
Nana
remember seeing
Komatsu dreams
a
about
lot of
blissful
people
love, while
who watch
Nana
it. Like
Osaki
conventions
aims for a
would
successful
used to show
music
it,
career. How
but
will they affect each other's life? Go and watch the show if you haven't yet already.
I was like, I don't know if people forgot
The
it.
characters. We can actually see the reflection of ourselves in some of them and believe that someone like that can really exist. This is proof that you can make a good anime without the conventional tsundere, yandere, or annoying childhood friend tropes. Even though the plot is a typical shoujo tearjerker, it has that magical something that makes you cheer unconsciously for some characters and experience some emotional events almost as strongly as the characters themselves feel.
Oh,
So, be sure to check this one out and try not to forget it this time.
all right. So that was Anime's top 10 forgotten anime to watch. Best underrated anime. The ones I really liked, I'm glad he kind of had it on the list. There's some I'll definitely check out. Well, it's a lot I'll definitely check out that he put. Which I say all the time. The ones I usually pay more attention to are usually those slice of life drama or romantic comedies. Usually those are the ones I pay more attention to when it comes to anime nowadays. Those tend to be my favorites. So that genre and stuff is usually one that fits more with me. But yeah, it's always interesting as far as this goes. When I say like I didn't pay attention to anime, like when I really found out what anime was probably around when I was about 15. But before then, I watched anime. Like I said, card captures, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball. But I didn't know the difference in the styles and stuff like that. And my brother would watch a lot of anime, and he used to watch One Piece a lot. And that's how I was like introduced to One Piece. But I wasn't a fan of One Piece. I wasn't even a fan of like anime during that, like, full on during that time. It wasn't until he was watching card captures that I actually not card captures, Case Closed. When he was watching Case Closed, that I actually was like, okay, I'm really really into it. And he was watching a lot of stuff on Toonami, and I was like, Case Closed was the one that really brought me in. And then I just started watching a lot of different animes and stuff that was popping on Toonami. And I was just trying to consume so much different anime and stuff during that time, around 15, 16. And I was consuming a lot of different anime. Like, it was so much easier back then to watch a lot of anime just because I was in high school during the time. And you weren't doing much. I wasn't working at the time of 15 to 16. So it was easier for me to consume a lot of anime. Nowadays, I can't consume as much anime as I wish I could, and that's the one that like it just sucks because it's just so much going on. You have a life to live. It's hard to watch anime like I used to, but I really do enjoy it though. Enjoy watching anime and stuff like that. But I consume a lot of different geek forums, so it was which makes it harder to watch animes. I consume a lot of other geek forums, whether it's like sci-fi, Star Wars stuff, superhero stuff. It's a lot of stuff that is just out there to consume. So it's like but it is what it is. But I enjoyed this compilation and these videos and stuff that Anime and his own Anified, like, they post these to show people like other animes they could watch, to let people know that there's these animes you probably haven't heard of, and that's what I enjoy about watching or looking at their channels and stuff when it comes to their videos, because it's a whole bunch of anime that's out there, and it's something you probably haven't seen that you could be interested in. So yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. If you like this video, please put a like on the video. If you like to subscribe to see some more of my videos, please do. Thank you all so much for jumping on and giving me a try. I really do appreciate it. And I say this with all sincerity, with everything that's going on in the world, everything that's been happening, all the tragedy, everyone being desperate to try to survive. And it's definitely hard. It's a lot more people trying to survive than it used to be. And it's crazy how stuff has gotten so high. As far as cost of living, and I heard it's even worse in the UK. But man, like, please do take care of yourselves and each other. Peace and geekdom.